Differentiate or Die, one of my favorite books that I remember reading. Although, unfortunately, when I read it for the first time, we had just started Zell and I really didn't understand the details of it. But my friend Akshay had given it to me, and today, after 10 years, I think when I read it again, I understand the impact of it and it really applies in a lot of different ways. So, in this video, I'm going to talk about Differentiate or Die. If you don't understand this concept, whether specifically if you are running a company or you want to start a company, or even at a personal level, whether it's your personal brand value or you're working in a company and you want to make a name for yourself, why is it that if you are not trying to understand and be different, you might be on your way down and not even realize it? So first of all, let me just introduce it quickly, right? Think about anybody in the world or any brand that you use in the world, right? You will see that when you talk about a particular domain, majority of the population thinks about two or three people or two or three brands in that category, right? So, for example, if you think about sports, right, you think about cricket, most likely will be at least the majority of the population starts thinking about a Tendulkar, a Kohli. If you think about tennis, they think about Federer. If you think about OTT, you'll think about Netflix. If you think about search, you'll think about Google. If you think about buying water, you'll think about Bisleri. If you think about cars, you might think about Tesla. I can go on and on. But long story short, most of the times you'll end up thinking about two, and not because that's the only two, three options available. And in fact, unfortunately, there are thousands available, but you land up remembering only a couple of them. And it's not always because they're the biggest or they're the first or anything like that. All of that matters. But one of the things that is absolutely essential is that everything you associate with those brands or those people, there is something that they've done differently and they've captured the imagination. So if you understand this concept, right? When Google came out, there were too many search engines. Google was not the first one, but Google made sure that the way it actually crawled the internet and provided the user experience and the results was so different that obviously it started coming up to the top. When you think about YouTube, YouTube was the first video sharing platform, completely unheard of. Same thing for Insta when it came to the experience of having it only as a visual platform. And Snapchat came and took a feature which was all about the time aspect of disappearing messages that made it different and made it explode. Had Snapchat tried to do the same thing as Instagram, it wouldn't have worked, even though both are visual mediums. Amazon, obviously, they started with books and etc., but they wanted to be one of the first e-commerce retail platforms. Very different, at least at that time. Today, when you associate online shopping, you think about Amazon. So one is you have a small niche, right? And a small market. And you are trying to come up in that market so that everybody in that small market, first of all, relates to you. And as you grow out of that big market, you can tell the bigger market that yes, in the small market, you are known for this, so that the bigger market also starts remembering you. And hopefully over time, everybody starts remembering you, because when they remember you, they will land up interacting with you and transacting with you and helping you grow. The other point is that if you're already in a crowded market, you take particular aspect of the business or of the company, which is a need in the market, and you make sure that that is added or put in your company, because being different will associate your company, your brand, with the rest of the population. And if you are associated in the mind of the consumer, you are at the top of that mind for any particular thought. When that thought happens, that thought occurs in the consumer, they're going to remember you. And that's what our aim is. That's what this book teaches you. You want people to remember you when they talk about something. So some of the big boys have taken larger terms, but the world is becoming so clear. So you can pick up anything that you think you're good at, and you can become known for that particular keyword, that particular feature, that particular thought, and be at the top of the mind of the consumers. So first point is, why does it matter? Well, it's the market is so cluttered. Everybody has so many demands. There are so many companies. There is so many people who are trying to ensure that whatever any individual wants, there is just a line of companies ready to give that goods or service to them. How you need to be different so that the consumer comes to you rather than chooses the 99% of the other options, that just because they can't remember to come to you. Competitive edge, that's the key. What makes you unique and your business unique? Because unless your product is so different. So for example, if you think about PayPal was so different when it came out. LinkedIn. LinkedIn is so different that when it comes out, the product is so different that there was a gap. People didn't realize it. But when these guys filled it, if they wanted a financial transaction, they would only go to PayPal. If they wanted a corporate professional interaction on social, they would only choose LinkedIn. So it has to be that different. Or you can have a price model. It's not just the required to be cheaper, faster, better, just like the adding the ERs. You can just be a little cheaper than the cheapest person and expect that it'll change the game. You'll definitely make a small dent, but I don't think that you will survive after the initial momentum. So if it's a price game, right, you can't just undercut everybody all the time. You'll not, it won't be, we've seen it unfortunately fail 100 times, especially even in my industry over the last 10 years in India itself. But you can fully turn the model around, the revenue model around, right? You can become, instead of a Netflix, which is a simple charging subscription, you can become like a YouTube where you make it free for the world and you monetize it in a different way. You can be different with the brand perception. So Apple has ensured that they, in the minds of us, as a premium brand, and you cannot tarnish it, right? They will not anymore let that happen. So you can keep going on and on with the ways you can be different. You can add one element which is completely different and it can be a game changer. For example, Instagram just made sure that it's a visual medium. And had they had Snapchat, which came after that, Snapchat was also a visual medium. But Snapchat added a feature of disappearing messages, disappearing images that made it different. And if you can see what happens. WhatsApp came. Before WhatsApp, there were other chat platforms. There was BlackBerry Messenger, there is Facebook Messenger today. Way before that, there was AOL and MSN Messenger. What happened, right? WhatsApp ensured that encrypting the messages and no ads that's what they started. They said, we will not monetize it with ads no matter what. Became different, became secure, took out. So let me suggest a few ways you can really understand. First of all, everything will relate to experimenting and trying to see if what you're trying to be different for has a need in the market. So as you can see on the screen, number one, the option is basis innovation in product. Second, customer experience. And third, building a brand identity. So finally, I'm going to leave you guys with a quick thought, right? It's a small, sort of a way to challenge yourself and see if you are right for it, right? Today, across the day, right? Look around, whether it's in your neighborhood, whether it's somewhere on your way to work, whether it's in any conversation, whether it's in your college, right? Pick up something broken, a broken business, right? It could be a restaurant that just seems to never really work. It could be something old that a lot of you and your friends have, but today it doesn't exist. And try and put a thought that how can you innovate, whether in its product or its experience, customer experience, or anything else, price, brand value, competition, and suggest how you would have been able to be different had you run that particular business and you believe it would have made a massive difference in the market. Leave it in the comments. We'll pick the best one up. So as a conclusion, guys, I think today, while it's important to be profitable, it's important to be the best and quality in experience. I think both of these are actually going to be superseded by the need to be different, because if you're different, you can be remembered by the market. They will come to you. If they come to you, you will be able to make money, which is profit. And if they keep coming to you, you can always ensure that you improve the experience, the product, so that they can, even after that, keep coming to you. But they need to associate you with one thing for sure. Hopefully, this will make sense to many of you guys struggling or wanting to grow and not realizing what's the key. And it's not a massive exercise, guys. It can take you a few months at the max to figure it out. Make sure that everybody around you is speaking the same language about that differentiated feature. Make sure that the rest of the world remembers you for that differentiation.